down to messing up the floors. As I said, here's your priority club information. If you have any questions about that, it's pretty self-explanatory. This type of service would come complimentary with that. You can see in there there's sheets that show our HVAC inspections and our cooling inspections for heating and cooling, as well as everything that we do in the plumbing inspection.
I just got a one of the heat guy just came out last week.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, from your company out there.
Did you get everything working okay?
Yeah, he got everything in, but like I say, he never mentioned none of this when he was out here. But
well, be sure to read that stuff over if you have any questions about it while I'm getting started here. Did want to let you know if I do make any recommendations here, we certainly won't do anything without your prior approval. And it is all safety related stuff, so I'll bring it to your attention at that point. You can decide whether, and that's even if there is anything that needs to be done.
okay.
How long have you been in the home?
Been about 5 years.
5 years?
Yes, sir.
Are you the original owner?
No, sir. I'm the second owner.
Okay. Do you know when the house was built?
Around 2002.
2002?
Yes.
All right. So it's about 11 years old. Yeah, this water heater is original to the house, which is not unusual. You see that sort of thing. Let me clean off the front of it here a little bit, and I'll write down some serial numbers. Make and model. If I need to get any information, I have my iPad with me, and I can get in the information I need off the manufacturer's website.
Okay.
Alright, so the water heater is original to the house. It's a State Select, which is a good brand of heater. We still install those actually. It's 50 gallons. Any issues with the amount of hot water that you have?
Over Christmas time, we had a little problem. We had some company come in, and we never noticed it at home. I have 2 kids and a wife. I never noticed it, but when that company stayed down for like 3 days of Christmas,
right,
we seemed like we was losing hot water or not enough hot water. But
more people taking showers is
yeah,
going to impact it. We can certainly, when we get finished up with my testing here, discuss any options or alternatives you have. Keep that from happening if that's an issue for you. Let me explain what I'm going to do during my testing here. I'm going to extinguish the pilot and make sure that the gas valve shuts off, so that's a major safety issue with the gas water heater such as you have here. Once I extinguish that pilot light, within 10 to 30 seconds I should hear that gas valve close. It'll make like a clicking sound, and then I'll verify just with the flame in the firebox there, make sure the gas has been extinguished. I will be going throughout the house later to make sure that we have safe water temperatures. I hear kids in the background, so I know sometimes people have a tendency to turn the heat up a little high. You don't want anybody scalded, so that's part of the safety check. In addition, I will be, once I verify that the pilot is operating all right, I'll take my camera here and I'll put it in the combustion chamber, evaluate the inside of the combustion chamber, if there's any soot in there, mouse droppings, sometimes we see some other stuff in there. If I deem it necessary to vacuum that out, I'll make that recommendation to you. If it's clean, fine. I'll check for leaks and rust, just wear in general. Most importantly, this is my #1 concern, is from a safety standpoint, is carbon monoxide. I want to do a test in this general area to make sure no carbon monoxide is escaping, so that you and your family are perfectly safe. I will be recommending a carbon monoxide detector in here because I don't see one. You have 2 gas burning appliances side by side. I do hear kids in the home, and it's important to be able to protect everybody. In my view, it's just as important as a smoke detector.
Is that something new that just came out, or?
They've been around for a long time. It's just people don't know any better, so they just don't pay attention.
I'm surprised my home inspector didn't catch that.
Yeah, they should have.
Huh.
I would have thought. Or maybe there was one in here and the previous occupants took it with them when they left. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something you should be concerned about with kids in the house especially. Okay. Additionally, like I said, I'll be checking for gas leaks, checking to make sure that this is called a thermostatic temperature relief valve, but actually it's a rupture preventer. The only thing it does is keep the tank from rupturing, possibly exploding, if the fail-safe down here that I already discussed were to malfunction. So we'll be checking all that out. I'll do a visual inspection for leaks, which I already see some potential leakage here. And as we already established, this it's got some age on it, so at some point you're going to have to decide what your best return on investment is, whether this would be better off, because I'm going to make multiple recommendations here based on what I see already, and I may have more recommendations to make after I put a pressure test on it and make sure that there's no thermal expansion taking place. It doesn't have an expansion tank on it.
By you looking at it right now, what are you thinking? Is it in pretty good shape by just what you're seeing, or?
It's in pretty good shape for its age. I know I'm going to be recommending replacing these two, or making repairs to these two leaks right here. You can see how they've calcified over, and it almost looks like a cancerous growth.
Is it leaking now?
It may be inside on my pressure test when I put a pressure test on it. It's not visually wet, but it could be that it's running down inside. But I can verify that with a pressure test. At that point, then I can make a recommendation on whether, and ultimately it's up to you whether you would believe that it would be more prudent and better off to replace it as opposed to repairing it. Since I do see these issues, and particularly if I find any others, you're going to get to a point where the repair costs are going to be close to the replacement cost.
What does something like that cost?
I've got the pricing out in my price book, depending on how many options you wanted to choose. One of the other things I did want to talk about, and at this point, you know, we're still in the testing phase for checking to make sure that it's safe. But I will be doing a temperature check on this as well to see exactly how much of your fuel consumption is going up the chimney, because that's something, if you decide that you think it would be prudent to replace it, we want to get the most efficiency that you can for your dollar, so the newer, higher efficiency units don't send as much heat up the chimney.
Oh, okay.
So that's something we'll look at.
Right.
HVAC guy, I actually should have said something about that to you too, because this just shut off and you can just feel the heat. So at some point,
Wasted, huh?
yeah, well, it's going up through the roof.
Okay.
So I'll get going here. Do you have any other questions before I get started on my testing?
No, hey, look, I'm just going to be in here in the kitchen getting something to drink. Do you want anything to drink, Mike?
No, I'm good, thank you. If you don't mind, you can read that Priority Club information while you're in there, and
Sure.
if you have any questions, I'll be right here.
Hey, just give me a yell if you need something. I'm going to be in here.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.